All right, so this is our Q&A session for the first two modules in ACT, and basically these are the overviews of market segmentation, the first two modules right out of the gate. First module really is just kind of an overview of the whole section, and then this is the last one that we watched was more getting into segmentation. So I want to just open this up. I made a few notes myself, so if you guys don't kick it off right away, I've got a couple of things, but if you have questions, go ahead and throw them out here.
Hey, John, I have a clarification to ask you. I understand, I really understand and appreciate the information about go for clients who can pay, your better clients, your better paying clients. And I get that. However, what's conflicting with that is that just my knowledge of how you get started, you start with small offers, like a free giveaway, then like a $10 thing and a $49 thing, and you eventually work your way up through a sales funnel process and establishing trust to your big ticket item, and something that is going to, again, your best clients are going to purchase expensive thing. But how do you get started if the process using like a sales funnel is to start with small little things? How is it you go after a high-paying client out of the gate?
Well, the first thing, like those charts that I showed you, those were based on a business that's already doing like 100,000. Mm-hmm. So if you're basically asking if we're just getting started, how do we know that? And the answer is you may not. You've got to start somewhere, and a lot of times we'll start off and we'll take on anybody just to get going. And that's okay, but there's going to come a point when you look back at your business and you say, okay, now I'm busy, but how do I scale this? How do I make more money? And that's the point in time when you're going to be able to maybe go back and redefine who your ideal client is. So bringing those on, there's not a lot of tools out. In fact, there's no tools out on the internet that I'm aware of that will actually tell you who your ideal client is. There's tools that will allude to the most profitable markets, but a lot of this is going to be, and I mentioned this in the video, is it's going to be intuition and common sense a lot of times. So the other thing too is if you are using if you're marketing a program that requires very little of your time, then that's much less concern. Like if you're doing an info product and you've got a sales funnel that's just going to churn people through and you don't have to have any human intervention in it, then again, that's much less of a concern at that point. But it's like I know you're experiencing a big gain from this in your video business just because, once your eyes get open to this idea of the ideal client, I know we've had some conversations about how you're working less and making more and liking that. And I had that exact same experience in my photography business, which was very similar to your video business. And, one of the key concepts there was everybody hates to lose clients. But there will come a time, especially if you're in a service business and you have to directly spend your time with the clients, there's going to come a time when losing clients is going to be a golden opportunity for you. Because like I showed, you could literally lose 20% of your non-ideal clients and it would only cost you 3% of your overall income. And if you think about that, how would you like to get a whole week of your life back at a cost of only 3%? That's, that gives you a whole week to go get better clients and make more money, and then you can do the whole thing again. There's no end to it. There's always clients out there that are bigger and better and will pay more and use less of your time. So if you are in any kind of a service business, this is going to be applicable to you. If you're in the info marketing business, not so much. So just kind of gauge that accordingly as to what you're doing. But, even if there's setup fees and stuff, if you've got to set up programs, like I know Michelle, she's got to set people up on her service before they go active and all that. And there's an amount of time that is going to be taken up by doing that. So she's eventually going to find out that there's certain clients that are a dream to work with, and there's certain clients that will be a nightmare to work with. And you've already found that, haven't you?
Well, actually, no, I'm just getting going, but I did really well this last weekend, and so I was just talking to my team. Luckily, thank the Lord, I have a team that's going to help provide the fulfillment part. I'm just going to try and free myself to go out and get on stages and speak more and share this new technology with people.
Okay. Well, yeah. So basically, your team is going to find that, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious how so my highest ticket item is where we provide the video production for them, and we're going to try and do it all virtually through software such as Zoom. Yeah. We're going to try and capture quality video that way and see how it goes, because nobody really wants to pay to have a full film crew, or go into a studio or whatever. So we're just trying this option, but I found this weekend, it was interesting. I think I mentioned to you that I think authors and publishers may end up being a bigger market segment for me than I thought initially, just because they've already poured their life and soul into their product, which is usually their book. The book leads to the services maybe perhaps that they can provide as well. But some of the older people don't have the savviness to go and create their own videos. So they're, going to be the ones probably buying the production package, which is what I'm offering. That's my higher ticket item. Oh. And if I could just, capture the money and then just have my team deal with it, I'm thinking that I might be able to do well with this, but we'll see. I'm kind of testing the water still.
Yeah. I think you're going to find that there'll be quite a few people that have this hurdle with video.
Yes,
and I don't
take away those pain points for them,
Yeah. I don't think you'll find that has. Well, the younger generation, the ones that grew up with video, they won't have an issue with it. But anybody that's in their own business and they've been doing their business, they haven't been doing video. So if they have no video experience, which I think you're going to find a lot of, that will be a great service for you. But your team members, what they're going to find is some of these people that you flow through are going to be a dream to work with. They're going to go smooth as glass. It'll be a one-shot deal, and they won't have to touch it twice. And then there'll be some that you'll want to pull your hair out of. So
when we do get done with these first initial, we have 3 of the production packages that we're going to be working through very quickly, because they're the ones who need the video in order for them to proceed with our service. Yeah. So what are you recommending as far as to gather all that data? As a survey, or we just jot our own notes and we find out what it is that they like, who they hang out with, those dream clients, do we do some form of analysis?
You're going to probably learn it more from working with them.
But what are the questions we should be asking? Because when you go to the key insights or Facebook insights, shouldn't you find out who's kind of likes to follow who, or interests, stuff like that?
Well, that's going to be a different thing. That you're going to do that, but if you're looking for authors, then you want to find major authors that people follow. And then in Facebook Insights, you're going to want to use those to target.
Okay, so we can ask some of our ideal clients as we're finding who our ideal client is right now. So we can ask them who they like to follow. Would that be good info?
Absolutely. You can do that in a couple of different ways. You can do it with surveys, or you can do it with intake forms. When you intake a client, you can have intake forms for them to fill out for your production. And I know we do that with a lot of different segments of our business. We'll have, if we take on a customer for SEO, we have intake forms. If we take one on for pay-per-click, we've got different intake forms. So you want to gather the information for whatever the services that you're providing, and you can put them right in there.
Okay, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, you can kind of disguise that. And that also puts a buffer on them when you take in new customers and it's a service job. That's going to keep them from coming back at you and say, well, why isn't it done yet? And you can say, you haven't filled out the forms yet. Yeah, and you just make that perfectly clear. This is the first step in the process, and the process is only delayed by you delaying filling this out. And
Great.
it really, what it does, it just puts the ball in their court.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you start projects, this is something I've learned long ago, and in anything to do with production, if you start a job without all the data, without all the information, the job is going to linger and drag on and on and on, longer, way longer than it should. So we try not to start any project without having the intake forms completed, because that's the information we need for our team to move forward and not have any delays. We don't want delays on our side. If it's a delay on the client side, that's okay, but that halts production. So we're not spinning our wheels, being, starting a project and stopping and waiting and then starting and stopping and waiting. That will kill you in production time.
Thank you.
So collect everything in advance before projects start.
Before even that first consultation call, right?
Yeah, because that will save you a lot of time even on the consultation call.
Yeah, you'll have insight.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah, you will know better what to ask and how to lead them and get a better outcome for them. And everybody does appreciate that. You will find that clients do appreciate that when you value their time and you cut to the chase, and you don't waste their time going around in circles where you could have collected that information before. Because when they get, if they're talking to you on the phone, that's high value time right there. So you don't want to spend that, collecting data that you could have collected prior to the call.
Now this is perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see here. Yeah.
Hello, Jack.
Yeah, go ahead, Ted.
So this module offers me or causes more stress to my mind than maybe any other module.
Okay.
Just to be constructive, it goes from market segmentation into client. I mean, I realize the 80-20 rule is important, but it doesn't seem to relate to the front part of the segmentation.
Yeah, and
I mean, is this the part where we should go into like Facebook groups and associations?
well,
and
also
community?
keep in mind that what we just watched was just the overview for what's to come.
Oh, I see.
So everything.
Oh, I thought it was in market segmentation.
No, well, it was, but it was an overview of the entire market segmentation. So everything that we talked about in this module will be drilled in deeper on the sub-modules, the sub-videos to come.
Okay.
So what we watched first was an overview of the whole analysis section, and then the second video that we watched was an overview of the market segmentation piece of analysis. So there will be subsequent videos that will drill down in each one of those little niches.
Okay. Thank you.
So don't stress out too much at this point, because it's really just an overview, and the part where I went into the ideal client there really kind of relates to the freedom formula. So for those of you that went through the freedom formula to figure out, what your freedom number is, and how much you need to make in your business to get you where you want to go, that's going to kind of relate to that. So it's really kind of touching back on that freedom formula and how to scale your business. So it is a little premature. I could see where you could get a little bamboozled there, but yeah, these two that we watched this evening, they really are just kind of overview modules of the first piece of the analysis, which is the segmentation. So as we go on next Monday, we'll dig in a little deeper. We'll get into a deeper level module going into it, and we'll just kind of continue the process. And and go through. My goal really is to create a Q&A video section like we're creating right now to go with each one of the modules. So as you're watching the modules, then you can watch the Q&A as well. So that's kind of our goal. All right, any other questions in relationship to what we just watched, the intro and the overview of the market segmentation? Again, we didn't dig deep into anything tonight. It was just more or less an overview of what's to come.
Are you doing this so that we'll all go through the training?
No, that's
You're hoping there are more people on.
I was hoping for that, to tell you the truth. See, I have access to Wistia where I can see how many people have actually viewed modules. And I know how many people are in the program, and I know how many video views we've got. And there's a little discrepancy there in our numbers.
I like this because it makes me feel like I'm in a classroom versus trying to only do it on my own in my free time.
Yeah, we kind of kicked the idea around. A lot of people liked it, and I'm like, hey, I'm up for anything. I want you guys to consume the materials, and I want to be there for you every step of the way. If you have problems, I don't want you to just be lost. This is not a program. I didn't create this to like just sell it one time and send you off like everybody else does. I'm here for you, and that's the whole goal of this. So whatever I got to do, if I got to sit here and watch the videos with you, obviously I'm going to do that. So.
You're a guy with heart. That's awesome.
I am here for everyone that's in. If you're in, I'm in with you.
Well, I'm glad because I was having coaching calls every Monday and they stopped. So now I have my Monday nights open. So this works out really well for me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's Monday movie night. I know Chris, he was munching on popcorn. That's why he cut his video off. He didn't want to do that.
It was burning on the stove. That Jiffy Pop was about the size of a beach ball, ready to blow.
All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. I don't want these things to go and linger too long because I don't want anybody to get bored with them. But anybody? Let's see. Marriott has a question. I have unmuted you, Mariette, if you can.
Looks like she's muted right now.
There you go. I unmuted you again. Let me see what her chat says. She says she doesn't think her microphone works, so she'll ask a question next time. Okay, no problem. Hey, did you have a question, Mariette? If you want to just type it in, I can answer it that way. That's another thing. If you guys can't get through or you don't have a microphone or anything, you can always just click the chat button at the bottom and go ahead and type your questions in, and I can answer them that way. So, all right. Well, it doesn't look like looks like she'll ask it next time. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this evening. We'll go ahead and wrap up. I want to thank you guys for participating in this and getting on here. And this is going to help us make people successful. It's going to help you through. The other thing, too, I want to let everyone know is we have a base camp set up. And base camp is for accountability. If any of you, I originally set it up just for our apprentice members, but I got an unlimited account. So if any of you guys want the base camp accountability, let me know and we'll set you up an account. And basically it's just like when you're logged into base camp, all the modules are there and you can just check them off as you go through them. And then I can see where you're at. I can see, like, you know, if you've missed something, I can kind of guide you through a little bit better. So if anybody wants that accountability, just, you know, let me know, shoot me an email, and we'll get you set up. All right?
Yeah, I guess I don't really understand what you're saying, so I'm not in there often enough, I guess. The back end? I know there's all these modules. We're supposed to be watching all these videos.
Yeah, what Base Camp is, it's an online program where we can collaborate. So we have
Oh.
all the modules in there, so I can see what you're doing. Like when you're filling out your workbook, I can actually look at what you're doing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yeah, that sounds kind of cool.
So it's really neat because I can see, and if you're off track, I know, and I can get you.
Oh, I definitely want to do that then.
Okay. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's really helpful because that way, you know, everybody has this thing where they kind of stall because they don't know if they did the last step right, so they don't want to do the next step.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, and that will kind of help that. So I can assure you, I can look at it and say, hey, you're on the right track, or I can adjust it.
I really would like that because I really want to do this. I really want to get through this ACT system because I know it's going to make a huge difference. So
Okay.
well, put me on board.
Allow them to ask more questions on these Monday night calls.
Yeah. Barbara was just saying the base camp is really good. She's working with a lot of people with accountability in there. And she says the base camp is great because it helps them keep them on track to ask their questions too.
Because if they're stumped, you know where they're stumped.
So that it helps all the way around. So,
Cool.
all right. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for this evening. So, again, thank you very much for being on here. And
Thanks, John.
we appreciate the assistance making this successful for everybody.
Rock on, guys. Bye.
Thanks.